trust. Let's reflect on data. Let's reflect on what we see. Let's scrutinize what we see, because that is what we need as a standard. That is what MRV providers need. Let's work together on data, on improving, because it's a journey. It's not that we've got this one system that will now be the silver bullet and solve all the problems, but let's work constructively as an ecosystem together to increase the quality, to show points where data quality might not be good enough, and work together on scaling the carbon removal market by adding trust and by improving our systems. So not just blind trust, but sort of constructive collaboration. That would be my advice.
Fantastic. And this constant emphasis on data, which is key to having that, again, confidence in the credit quality. Misha, you mentioned the kind of what I think you alluded to, which is that World Economic Forum's best practices guide that you contributed to. What would be, from either drawing from that or from your experience at Swiss Re, what would be your guidance to the group that is quite diverse, both suppliers and buyers, in this call related to the topic of this discussion, which is MRV?
Maybe something interesting to explore. I'm just thinking about here, right? But something interesting to explore is to see, so this concept of buyer clubs, right? And this is for suppliers as interesting as for buyers. So both need to aggregate somehow. If you can make that a USP of the next buyers club, that you say we have a DMRV buyers club, and in order to be part of the supply side here, you need to do DMRV. To add this layer up front and then go and market it that way. Because buyers clubs are particularly interesting for going an extra mile in terms of cost, reason of shared cost, right? It's not you who go for the biggest bang for the buck, but you can rely that you're not the only, excuse my French again, idiot to pay this high first movers price that I presume is today, when EMRV is not standard, you would still pay if you go for this extra layer of quality. So that could be something interesting, and that's something that is described. It's one of the key access routes to this carbon removal market in the publication that you just mentioned, and then you may want to share the link. I really like the accessibility for buyers, even those who have never bothered or are really new to the field, what you can do. I also found it striking that even Duncan tests this right away. So it was not a question for him to go for it. Although you would read in the literature that for DAC, for direct air capture, you just install a flow meter, and then this is the most MRV-able CDR that's out there. And we ourselves, we would argue, look, DMRV puts, for example, biochar on par with DUC. But Duncan has all reasons to believe that his product will also benefit from that push in credibility and in reduced reputational risks for buyers, so that he goes for this solution. That I found, that's what I really learned here in this webinar. And in that respect, I think you're off to a big thing, and you might really want to find distribution channels that scale.
Great, thanks so much, Misha. Very important idea. It's just to wrap up this discussion as we move into announcing our next webinar. So some of the kind of key points. One is MRV is a requirement for decisions for the buyers to have that transparency on credit quality and to have the data trail. It is something that is also needed by suppliers of various durable carbon removal technologies, as we heard from Diego and from Duncan. All sorts of benefits from being able to access the market to find the buyers and give them confidence that what they're buying is de-risked, but also efficiency and convenience and the future proofing. And then on the standard side, having that third party do the data collection, standardization, and provide it also to the third party verifiers is key. It's also key because all of us on this call want to scale this market efficiently and make it into a really a market that is contributing to the climate goals. With that, just a quick announcement of the next webinar, and a huge thanks to Misha, to Benno, to Diego, and Duncan for joining us today, for sharing their real world experiences with regards to this important component of carbon removal market. Next month, we'll actually hear government perspective and how governments can ensure trust and transparency in carbon removal. So we'll be hearing from the US DOE, we'll also hear from the European Commission and some fantastic experts in the policy space. This will be hosted by our senior policy advisor, Sebastian Manhart. So we'll continue the discussion about MRV. And in November, we'll have a webinar that is focused specifically on some of the questions raised by suppliers regarding the MRV. So with that, very much thank you for all the questions, for your engagement, and thank you to Misha, Benno, Diego, and Duncan for sharing their expertise. On behalf of Carbon Future, thanks for joining. You'll be receiving the recording in a follow-up email. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Leila and team.
Thank you, Leila and Carbon Future team.
Thank you
so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Recording stop.